Give a testimonial at the next council budget meeting.
Okay,
about
Bobby,
this.
whenever you're ready.
We're counting on you, Rob.
Bobby, you're on mute.
I muted when I didn't need to. For some reason, I don't have the formal agenda. So I'm just gonna go. I mean, Jason, maybe you can.
Can we put it up on the screen or do you want me
Yeah.
to screen share it? I have it.
I'm getting there. Just 1 second.
Okay. Either way, we can call to order the EDC for the city of Snoqualmie on August 17th at 8:18. I believe probably the first thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes. So
I move to approve the minutes of June or July 20th.
Second that notion.
okay. So
Check microphones.
Hello. Oh, thank you.
yeah, I think I'm gonna defer to you because I don't know what, from our conversation on Thursday, I don't know what the community liaison report is.
This is my mic.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me, Bobby? Can you hear me, guys?
I can.
Okay, Bobby, that's me.
Okay, new rules. I'm used to names.
We took the names off.
Okay. So community liaison report, summer's kind of winding down. Events are winding down. The city sponsored events that I did, the movies and the music, those went really well. Had some great sponsorship with some of the businesses. Sigillo and Carousel on this call right now participated. We did some raffle prizes, which was new. And the people at the movies and the music seemed to really like that. That was definitely a win, something that I think I will move forward with in the future. Used Sandy Cove again for the third time. Got the best turnout ever. Last year was hard. It was a smoky, rainy night. The first year I did it, it was the first time. So people aren't aware of that park. It's beautiful. One of those 90-degree nights. So honestly, it was the place to be, in the shade, on the grass. If we'd have been in Community Park without any trees or shade, I think people would have melted and died. So it was a good night. Snoqualmie Days, which is not a city sponsored event in the sense that I don't do it, but the city supports it with in kind, is happening on Saturday. And I think that there is great momentum, and the committee that's doing that is really gelling, really working hard. I think they have like 55 vendors, which compared to last year, which I think was maybe a dozen. It's just the work that has gone into it is great. And I think the thing, if you build it, will they come? I think that's where everyone's at, is fingers and toes crossed. But I think they've got a good shot at a great event. And it's going to be one day this year instead of 3 or 2. And the road is only closed 1 year, which was a difficult decision for some. I think it was, I know it was the right decision, and I just hope that it pans out that way. So there's that. Working with the chamber to bring a re-envisioned block party back on September 9th or 12th, 10th. Coffee. So we're working on that. I am so sorry. I don't have my notes in front of me, but I think that's my update. I'm working with the mayor. We've had a little bit of summer vacations and some breaks, doing some business visits. A couple of weeks ago, the mayor and I had a fabulous business visit at Saints and Scholars, which is the re-envisioned Fanatis. Did I say that right? Local residents. I really encourage everybody to go there. Every bit of the remodel is imported from Ireland. Walls, chairs, wood, marble, decor. It's really going to be great for the Ridge business community to have that. So we're looking forward to that opening. They hope to be open at the end of this month, and they're going to be doing a ribbon cutting. September 17th is their hope. So I think, let's see what else. Oh, tables and chairs out on the boardwalk. They've been out for about, I'd say 3 weeks now. I purchased those with some port grant money. The week that they went out was when we had that horrible heat wave. So I think that they didn't get used quite as much because it's the blistering sun, but they're getting used. I see people out there in the mornings working from those tables. So they're a nice addition to the downtown. Also using some port grant money and been working with some other staff members in Parks and Public Works and Communications to create a new trail map. I'm merging 2 different trail maps from the past that it has been overdue for a facelift. And so that's been a really been a lot of work, but staff, we've all committed to the time it takes to get that done. And that's hopefully going to go to the printer at the end of this week. And we'll get those out in the community and to the hotels. And I think it's going to really help a niche of people that come to Snoqualmie for our recreation and our trails and our great parks. So I'm looking forward to having that piece out in the community.
So question to you and Kelly, do you have enough volunteers to help set up and take down the block party?
I need more, lots more.
Okay, so we can connect.
Great, thank you.
I think that's it for me. If anybody has any questions.
So next it looks like it's a Kelly update on the chamber.
Okay, so I am passing out, which you guys, some of you are not going to see this. But I told you last time we had our new app that we just released. It is 1.0. We have lots of things to do with it still. But we have had over 2,000 people download it so far, and that was out without trying. So that was pretty darn good. This will be going out to all the not residents. We'll be sending this out in different forms. We have some postcards that we're trying to figure out how to send those out. We have these going in all of the stores, and we also have clings that are coming up with it. It is a virtual information center. So it's kind of what things have changed to, and LTAC was able to help us get this going. It was so many hours. I cannot even tell you how many hours. We had an intern, Owen Smith, that without him would not have happened. There's lots of things that need to be changed in it. So as we progress, people will be changing it, but it's working. I had somebody that we accidentally put their cell phone number in here, and they called and they said, please take my cell phone off. So it works. That was the good news. Very excited about that. So anyway, we're working on that. You'll see this in a lot of different places here very shortly, but I just passed out to those that are not here. I passed them out the QR code to download the app. You can go to Discover Snoqualmie Valley and on any of your Google Play or the Apple app and download it.
Kelly, is this available digitally? Like is this screenshot like something you could send me and I could share this on the city Instagram?
Yes.
Okay, this is really, I like the look of this. It's really clean and professional. Good job.
Thank you.
And then Kelly, how do we, I mean, this is being really naive at this point, but I've had that app since you've sent it to me, but when it gets updated, how does our phones and our systems know to update to 1.1 and 1.2?
It's just going to be constantly changing. We put out this thing. I can't. So I decided to let other people send us their information. We put in as many people that we could. And once I would feel more comfortable if we had at least 100 more businesses on here. It would make me feel a lot better. And it's just going to be slowly getting that. I think once it gets out there in the public, there'll be lots more that'll be added to it. And then we'll look at it again. If anybody has any suggestions on it, we'll look at, we're going to constantly do any kind of suggestions we have. We're happy to change whatever we want. And then it'll just kind of go to 1.2, 1.5 as it progresses. We're not going to announce it or anything. It's just going to progress.
Do we want to potentially add that to the visitations, since you mentioned you want more businesses on there, to let the businesses know as the Mayor Ross and ED?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be awesome. Thank you.
It's a very attractive app.
Isn't
It
it?
is. It's amazing. I
I'm
like it.
downloading
Eat,
it
shop,
now,
play,
exercise.
stay, services and venues. I mean.
Yep. Yeah.
it's great.
And we are going to change a little bit more because I think I realized that the hospital was not close enough. So I need you to look at that and tell me like it should go to the top, I think. So yes, Sherry, I think I need you to look at that for me. And then the next thing that I want to tell you about is our block party. It is September 10th. We have had such an outpour of people in our community that want to perform on stage. So it's kind of funny, but I love it because that's what this is for. Railroad Days to me is more of a bigger celebration, but Snoqualmie Days is to be able to get the people up on the ridge to be a community. We have over 900 new families since about the past 3 years. And so this is just kind of like getting back to where we used to be because it was really cool. So one of the things that I found out was we have several people that live on the ridge that own overlanding companies. Is that how you say it, Sherry? Overlanding vehicles. So those are like 4x4s, trucks, and they're things that go. So anyway, they have come to me and we're going to be doing overland vehicle show. So we're going to bring those all up there. We've topped it at 45. And then we'll also do kind of like a, hopefully with the entry fee for each one of them, we will have money to give them as prizes for them to come up and stay. So it's something that's not happened anywhere around in any of our communities, and not even in the Puget Sound. So I think it'll be a big draw, and I think people will be excited about it. Again,
Really quick question, how does somebody enter their car?
we are putting a Google Doc together. It should be done today where people can enter it.
Okay, cool, because that's such a huge trend right now. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's huge. I think even the teenagers will like to come and look at that kind of stuff, right?
They love it.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we really tried to think of on this was to make sure everybody was covered on it. So currently we have 40 vendors and we still have time left. So we think we'll have 54 to 60 up there. And a lot of people are wanting to be up there. Vacation time this week is big. So everybody's coming back. There'll be school start. And that's why we had to wait till September to do this. We have family yoga. We have a belly dancer. We have anything you can think of, we have coming. So we're actually going to have to put a second stage, figure out a second stage.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. And we're looking for sponsorships. So if anybody wants to sponsor this, please let me know because we definitely need it so we can pay for it. We're not making any money on this. We're just putting it out for the community. So all the sponsorships go back into like the stage and all the other stuff. So it's a really cool thing that we're doing. We do need volunteers. So if anybody would like to come volunteer, and this weekend, I'm going to be the only person at the front desk for the beer garden. So if anybody wants to come help me check IDs and get payments, please do, because I'm going to be there from 11 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night. So by myself. We can't seem to get any more volunteers, so we need it. So come talk to me. And then I also wanted to tell you that I have also went to Saints and Scholars, and they're going to be open something on the 10th, so they can on September 10th, so people can come in and check things out. So we're
So
excited.
not opening at the end of the month? Did they have to
No,
push
well,
it
they're
back?
not going to be cooking, but they just want people to come in and see what it looks like, and so they just want to open it up to the community.
So just kind of like come in and see and
Yep.
visit and tours. And
Yep.
then will the 10th be their soft open or will the 17th ribbon cutting be their full-fledged opening?
It won't be, it's just them for people are so excited to see
Yeah.
they want it to be just welcoming the community. And so it's not even a soft opening. It's just a look and see.
So when will they be open serving customers? Will that be after the ribbon cutting? on
Maybe
the
after
17th?
the ribbon
Yeah.
cutting. Yeah. They're working on getting the back end of the house.
Yeah, I think that's worth saying to this group here. It's part of what we discuss here. And they were telling the mayor and I, they are having real challenges finding the cooks, not the servers, not the front of the house, but it's the back of the house. And that is a real kind of scary situation for them.
Yeah.
I think didn't they say they do have a chef, but it's like the line cooks and the sous chefs, all of that. That's what they're lacking. And that's really unfortunate for them.
Yeah, it's where everybody is
Yeah.
lacking too. And so some of our, our businesses still can't open late because they don't have that. So it is very difficult for sure.
Well, and on that note, not to be negative, but it's gonna be even harder now that school and colleges are starting back up, and so you're gonna have the kids that help support that.
Exactly. And we are going to be working with the high school a little bit more. They have a new career person that is starting for this year. And so we're going to start bringing in some of our businesses into lunch and like for people to like get to know them once a week. So some of our businesses are going to be starting to do that. I think it's really important for them. The kids aren't, like, we don't have a career, actual job fair because they didn't show up to the job fair. So this way they're coming to them for lunches and they can come in and have a communication with them. So we're working on doing that. And then another thing that
Do you know who the contact is there? Or if you
I
can
have it, I
send
just
to me,
can't remember the
please?
name.
Great.
I
If
can
you
get it back to you. Because I think it's critical for us here to be able to do that. What was it? I forgot what I was gonna tell you.
Tell me what you're thinking. Rob, when's your next job fair push?
It's every day.
Well, I know that, but I mean, what's the next big one?
Yeah. We're doing everything virtually at this point. So
Yeah,
continue to use snowvalleyjobs.com because we're still getting hundreds of job seekers a week, and you don't have to set up a table. You can meet a lot of folks through that. So
Yeah,
if you haven't done that, if you have positions or you haven't refreshed them, please reach out to me.
yep. And
Have you talked with Saint and Scholar on that as an option?
I told Adrian and Amanda about that. So we'll see if they didn't do it. I talked to them last week, so we'll see.
Okay, thanks, Kelly.
Yeah. One thing that we did do that was so amazing to watch, and Dr. Gibson told us, Gibbon said it was a huge impact. We did 90 welcome bags to the 90 new people that are that are coming to, well, there's 60 teachers and then there's 30 coaches and other staff that are coming that are new. That's like the most they've ever had for the schools. It's huge.
Although, that's because they're filling gaps and people are leaving the profession.
Yes.
That's the other reality of it.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
that's good that they were able to recruit that many.
Yeah. And so the teachers were crazy over it. So what we did was we went to all the different stores and had them give little coupons and different things. Snoqualmie Ice Cream gave their cups with a free scoop of ice cream, like a little coupon, and everyone went crazy over it. So I think we're going to do more of that and just kind of welcome them because those are, that's our largest employer. And so trying to get those people engaged into our community is probably one of the biggest things that we can do. So working on that like crazy. The other thing is I have been also meeting with companies on the Ridge, and I do, I don't know if you guys know this, but I do certificate of origins. And what that means is anybody that ships wholesale or has anything that goes overseas, they have to have a stamp that is certifies that they are who they are. So as a Chamber of Commerce, that's what I do. So I sign all of their documents. So I know what everything goes out of this community that goes overseas. And so it is very important. So I've met with my companies. I try to meet with them every now and then and add another company to it. And when I do meet with them, one of the things that I have been hearing over and over and over again is they need more space. They're dying. There's one of the companies that I went and talked with has 40 employees, but every single one of their jobs is over $150,000. And 90% of their employees live here. They're not anywhere else. So it's a great company. And they're thinking about they may have to leave because they can't find any place. So I would love for this group to please, I kind of urge you on this, to try and figure out that third, the annexation for the third phase of the industrial warehouse space. I have 3 that I know have to have some more space. And then the other thing is I have been talking to the mill site, if it does go through, that we will put some of them out there as well. But we got to keep them here. And their timeline is between 3 and 5 years, and they're growing. Some of them need 100,000 more square feet, which is a lot, but we got to get them here, and losing something like that is very detrimental to our economy here. So it is just something that I really wish that we would push. And I make it
Do you
easier.
have a list that you could send me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Send me the list of the people that want
I sure can.
to join the city of Snoqualmie.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they're here, and they're,
They're wanting to go into that area that
yes.
that's currently inside the urban growth boundary, but not in the
Right.
city limits.
Mhm.
Um,
We've got quite a few of them. So yes, we can do that. And then the other thing is, I guess, the mill site had many years ago, before they had done it, they had all these different wineries that were supposed to be coming in there, quickly. And so I have had 5 wineries come and say, when is that opening? What's going to happen with that? So I think we've got a lot of things happening and a lot of growth, and I see some really amazing things that could happen over there. And so I just encourage that maybe we take a little deeper step in trying to help with that as well. I also had a restaurant yesterday that called, and they are currently in Issaquah, but they would absolutely love to come up here. There's nowhere for them to go.
Which restaurant is that?
I can't tell you, but I can tell you offline. I tell you offline in Issaquah. So, but they're very much wanting to come here. Yeah. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Do you have any update about the problems with downtown, or the questions of the downtown business owners?
So we with our downtown businesses, we had some interesting conversations, and but luckily Nicole helped with this. We're having some major homeless issues that are happening downtown. And there was a bench that was right next to Carousel, and that was moved, and that's stopped a lot of the problems that they were having over there, which is amazing. They're still having some issues. But Jennifer Kirk is coming down from the shelter services to go talk to them at their next meeting. So she can take on some of that to talk about, but that has been a big thing. The other thing is our tourism is absolutely down this year. Joelle at Carousel does a great job of being able to track who's new, and so does the Snoqualmie Falls Brewery. The Snoqualmie Falls Brewery has done well, but they were expecting to go even further because the tourists did not come this year. And it is interesting. They've struggled. There's a lot of them had extra stuff, and I heard that from the ice cream and also the trading post as well. So extra merchandise that just didn't quite sell. And I think that's a lot of the economy and the gas prices. So we're still getting lots of people requesting to be here. Our weddings are up tremendously. I know I spoke with Snoqualmie Inn, which they have done phenomenally with. We did that wedding guide where we were sending out all the wedding. It had worked. It definitely worked because they are swamped with weddings. They've had to turn away a lot of weddings. So our LTAC funds should be really good on that, just so you know.
Kelly, they're actually hosting the weddings in their facility, or they're getting the room nights from weddings that are taking place in the
Both.
community?
Both.
Are there any community parks in Snoqualmie that are like the city owns? that
Yes.
rent
Yes.
Out for weddings?
Snoqualmie Point Park is one that I've worked with Kelly to promote, and we're going to work more towards doing that. But Snoqualmie Point,
Rental?
it's rental. It's beautiful. And we usually do, even pre-COVID, I'd say maybe 4 weddings a summer there. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's very rustic. There's really not a lot of services up there. So that's probably why it's minimal. But and then Sandy Cove, the plan for that, when Sagillo expands and everything.
be the two.
That will be a
Wedding house.
wedding
So
venue.
just so you know, Snoqualmie Point, the roof, I've had several people call me and say that the roof is off. Like there's lots and lots of stuff up there that's off. So I don't know if you guys can check that out.
They just
It's-
worked on the roof last summer, so I'm curious what that
They just did,
situation is.
Yeah, check and see, because there's winds that come through there that are so bad.
Yeah, okay.
So just,
Kelly, just real quick, Ryan, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, Kelly, I was just wondering if you have an update on the Woodman. I know that the Snoqualmie tribe looked at it. I know McMinimans looked at it. I just wondering if you've heard anything more.
Kelly, I reached out to Peter about a month ago. Last time I spoke to him was face to face in December, but he did not respond to my email. Have you spoken to him as well?
no, I've heard from people behind, like I have had two people that went and offered money to him to buy it, and he has not returned their phone call either. So don't know what's happening with that yet. And it could be that they're just keeping quiet. So I also heard the McMiniman is
That would be
was-
great.
Yeah. But that is just top notch. He's not saying anything.
He did, when I spoke with him in December, it was a good conversation, and he is willing to sell the business, the recipes, the whole kit and caboodle, turnkey. And I feel that he's looking for the right person for the community. And I did say to him, don't do us wrong.
Yeah.
Don't bring someone in that's not going to fit the community. And I get the vibe that that's what he wants as well.
I agree. I totally
agree?
agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. It's just, we don't know what's going to happen just yet, because there are people that wanted to buy it that did not want a restaurant. So we'll see. I really hope we need that restaurant. So I'm hoping that he doesn't. And it would be a really,
It's been interesting in the community. There's been a lot of chatter about the Woodman in the last month and a half. So hopefully that's some good vibes and good energy to get someone in there sooner than it has been.
The last thing I will say, I do appreciate that the locals, the community, we know it's vacant, but he's doing a good job, like keeping the flower pots. Like
Right.
people that come here wouldn't, I think, know that it's vacant. So I think he's doing us a solid there, keeping it maintained while it's been vacant.
So I also came here, I just wanted to that reminded me of this. I came to the council meeting last week. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I can't, my time has, it was last week.
last
Oh
week.
my gosh, my time has really gone. The ARPA funds, I would love for us as a group to also give some ideas on the ARPA funds. One of the things with the and Joelle or Ryan, you guys could help us as well on this. I would love to see us put more money into our Christmas lights, maybe some more technology in the Christmas lights to be able to bring more people down, because that's the worst part of the years. Part of the year is to get, people down. Anything that we can to encourage people, put some more marketing out there. But I would like for us as a group maybe to give a list to the city council. Would that work?
It would, and we're actually going to have the workshop Monday. So if you come up with the list.
Would anybody else
before Monday
help
would be
me with that? Create that? Ryan, Joelle?
No, I'm happy to jump in, Kelly.
Okay,
I think even the downtown merchants group, if you reached out to that board.
yeah, they came with me.
Okay.
So, and
Yeah.
that,
And we
Let
took
me-
notes that you mentioned, so
Yep.
we have what you commented on.
Let me give this group a bit of an update on that, because in order to light for the holidays, we have to start early. And the Parks and Public Works Director and I actually had a meeting on Monday. The last few years, we've gone back and forth, whether it's staff or we're vendors or contracting the work to get done. It's a heavy lift. It's a commitment by the city and the resources to light downtown. And we now are responsible for center. I think that the support for the lights remains strong. It's something that I believe the city and city council is still committed to doing. So we're working with Parks and Public Works Director. We'll probably be contracting a portion of that out this year. I can tell you, it looks like the lights will stay on par, if not with a few enhancements. And I say that because Mike Chambliss, the new Parks and Public Works Director, loves the holiday season and loves lighting. And I might even have to contain him a little bit, because when I say contain him, I think for me personally, it's a fine balance of Hallmark and classy and too carnival-ish. And I'm not saying he's going down the carnival route, but I'm just like, okay, Mike, we gotta be careful about that. But the lights will be happening. And then Center Boulevard, we've recently become aware of some challenges with the electrical system. Well, not aware. We were aware of it, but we didn't realize how deeply troubling the electrical is up there. But the lights on Center will happen again this year. And so again, commitment to that. And I'm hoping to have those come on maybe early November versus the end of the year, just based on workload. But I think that would be a benefit to the businesses up there on Center to get those lights going earlier than later.
Yeah. There's some new technology that's coming too. And I would hope maybe we could look at some of that too, to the mapping that they're doing. That would not be hard to do. I just think it would be something really cool to just add, even, each year, maybe add a little bit more. But right now with that ARPA funds, we have it. And I would love to be able to put Snoqualmie even further on the map for the holidays.
I've always had a dream of lighting all of the trains along the Centennial Trail, much like I do with the snowplow, but it's an expensive endeavor to do all of those trains. But I think that could really just literally draw people down.
What do you mean?
Two things, Nicole. I mean, personally, I think it would be pretty awesome if, I don't know the cost, how much it costed light sooner than later and keep it an extra month or so. But I know that I have clients that come to see the lights, like from Seattle, that's what's on them to buy, purchase in the valley and move outside of the city. So, if it could be earlier and just illuminate the dark 4 months of darkness would be awesome. And then Joelle has her hand up.
Joelle.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely agree. Like, I think for the lighting, if we could do it much earlier, at least a couple weeks, I think that'd be really helpful because people do wait for that. And when was it Monday was the meeting for the ARPA? Is that, Kelly, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. At 7?
6.
Okay.
Workshop.
I'll be there.
Yes. It's right before council.
Well, can
And then Mayor Ross, you have your hand up.
I'm gonna have to take off. So I can give you a brief update, then I need to run for another meeting. But
Yes, please.
Can they talk? Can we talk at the, no, so we can't. Okay.
That's special workshop.
Okay, but we can, can we do our findings to you guys or anything?
Yeah, you can
Send it
email us.
to Emma.
So my recommendation is that you send it to all the council members, because they're the ones that are going to make the decision. And if you can put details as the dollar amount requested, to give you an idea, we've got roughly about 800,000, I believe, in ARPA funds that we haven't allocated. I've already heard from one proposal. So it's going to be up to the council to prioritize, and we're going to look at those dollar amounts will help give us some guidance, because there's, as we experienced before, you run out of the money real quickly.
Right, yeah.
So help us prioritize that, send it over, and then we'll deliberate it Monday night.
Okay.
Yeah, sooner as soon as possible, because we are doing a presentation, and so we can include benefits the community type portion and include some of the ideas in there. So
Okay,
Could you send it to me and then that way I have your contact information?
yeah.
I'd like to talk to you
Yeah.
further.
absolutely.
Okay.
okay, so I'll give a quick update. So one thing is the city council approved the capital improvement plan, and this is a 6-year investment in the city. It improves parks, transportation facility, and the utility infrastructure. And some of the things that would impact tourism or benefit our businesses One is, let's see, when we're gonna completing the Snoqualmie Riverwalk project, doing the Sandy Cove Riverbank restoration. And then after that, then there's a Sandy Cove Park improvement. And then also we approved the expanding the community center and adding a aquatics facility. We'll be building a spray park, and we will also be completing the all-inclusive playground. So those are just some things. There's other things like not so sexy things as like upgrades to the water reclamation facility and things like that. So it's a big, big feat that we have approved it, and we'll be able to move on and start working on some of the projects. Mill site council deliberations continue. We have a special workshop next week, and we have several different deliberation times scheduled, and hope to have a council decision possibly by late September.
Mayor
And
Ross, what does the timeline roughly, what does the timeline look like for the Riverwalk? Because that's been a long discussion that would be huge for the community.
right. Let's see. There's different segments of the Riverwalk. 1 second.
So while the mayor is looking that up, the Riverwalk, when it was first unveiled as an idea, is a 20-year-long project. So go ahead, Mayor, please.
Well, so for instance, it's different segments. And so I mentioned Sandy Cove will be doing the bank restoration, upgrading the park. And then from Northwest, so basically near 202 over to Sandy Cove Park, that would happen, next year and 2024. And then there's the Arboretum Trail. So there's Arboretum Trail, there's Boardwalk, and those would happen 2025 through, the Boardwalk is through 2028. So certain segments will happen, like a couple of segments or a segment every couple of years. So.
Well, and that's just great to have some forward progress on that for the community to see that progressing finally when I feel that it's been on pause for a few years for different reasons.
Right. Absolutely. So
Great energy.
yeah. So the other thing is we mentioned, talk about visitations, and Nicole was right that we've kind of put it on pause. I think our last visit was the Saints and Scholars, but I think we're still seeing a common theme. One is hiring. Every business we've talked to is running into the issue of hiring, and some of it's caused by if they can't live here for housing affordability, then they can't get here because of public transportation. And so I actually sit on the Regional Transit Committee, which works with Metro. And so my common theme is we need busing across Highway 18 to get people into the Snoqualmie Valley and into Issaquah. Also cost of goods because of inflation, and signage. Signage is an issue in historic downtown as well as on Snoqualmie Ridge. So they want more visible signage and to point them to different areas such as to Snow King or into Snoqualmie Ridge, into retail or downtown, historic downtown, going around near the Snow Falls Brewery, all those different areas. And so signage is an issue as well. So that's my brief update.
So quick question for you. I have been trying for years to get HopeLink does this transportation mobility thing, and they will not understand how important it is for when they're out there, because they're out there talking to every city council and everything, to put on there how important businesses are, and also our business need for transportation. It is basically they're just doing seniors and low income, and that cannot happen. And I'm asking, I would love for you to request from them to actually step it up and talk about our tourism and also our businesses that need it, because they're doing a lot of work. They've done a lot of work on it, but they're just leaving out our big core and why we need people to come in here. Help.
Well, Kelly, because the King County Mobility Coalition met yesterday, And so they talked about their programs that they're trying to expand to. Of course, they didn't mention business. It's mostly healthcare, and it's tough. It costs money.
Yes.
So between them and there's another organization that's also trying to meet the needs. And I think it's meeting those essential needs first.
But I think we could get that further if we actually had more people talking about, because we could go to Metro with all of it, but we can't just say, oh, well, we need it for this, but we need it for a lot more other reasons.
Right. And Snoqualmie Valley Transportation as well. I mean, Amy is definitely the key to that. And I think funding
Yes.
our local transportation
Yeah.
before we
For
reach out.
weekends, for weekends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
We've
I
been
know they were going
working-
to increase the frequency of Snoqualmie Valley transportation
Frequency and
as
routes.
well as I thought maybe in adding the weekends as well, but
Yeah.
so.
It's definitely the first step.
But we just need to have everybody on the same boat, and our businesses are hurting desperately, and we need them to be able to have some kind of metro on 18. And it's important to make sure that they're all telling the same story.
Exactly.
Ryan, did you have a question?
When Mayor Ross was talking about signage, I know years ago we had talked about, the fact that tourism travels on the Parkway versus going through Meadowbrook like it did years past. And we had talked about trying to create some type of a directional signage at the end of the Parkway, and it kind of didn't go anywhere. And then I heard years back that there was potentially a median being created in 202 that would potentially have signage for downtown as you enter downtown. Are any of those still in the works?
So Ryan, that is potentially part of, well, let me back up. The Town Center Phase 3 project would start to add some of those features, and that project is currently underway. It's going through design right now. And so, when you're coming in from the north, there's that kind of diamond area there which is striped, and that's where that little median would be. One of the challenges of putting signage in medians, of course, is the various traffic safety challenges related to that for, between distraction and sight lines. So it's something we can certainly look at going forward. I don't think that signage was explicitly part of the design for Town Center Phase 3, but I mean, as you know, because we have the signage that's on the Parkway today, with the arrows and everything,
Wayfinder, yeah.
Yeah, so we have designs for it, we have a motif. It could just be a question of figuring out where signage should be, what it should, and what it should say. But yeah, that the median thing is certainly still being considered.
Okay. One more question, Jason. With that Town Center Phase 3, is approaching the state regarding speed limits in downtown. Is that a part of that, or have we kind of given up?
No, that whole process is still underway, and that has mostly been being handled by Parks and Public Works Department, Jeff Hamlin specifically. It's an ongoing discussion. There's certainly been interest in lowering speed limits, both in the core of downtown where it's currently 30 miles per hour, but also outside of downtown where it's currently, 45, which is kind of crazy considering you have the Parkway, then the bridge, and the roundabout. And so, it's kind of like, let's zoom up to 45, drop back down. And so the last understanding I had is that WashDOT was interested in lowering the limit to basically lowering everything 5 miles an hour. So to 40 outside and then to 25 in the core.
Oh, great. That's awesome news. Thank you.
So Jason, I also wanted to just mention really quick, and I don't know if you guys could tell us, is it September 7th that Governor Inslee will be here to do the groundbreaking of the interchange, I-90 interchange?
I will nod my head. I'll nod my head. How about that? For that.
Yeah, it was just
that's the current
released.
understanding, but of course,
Yeah.
nothing's.
It was just released. I got an email on it. So WashDOT just released it. So I think that's a big thing. And Ryan,
What date was that, Kelly?
I think it's the 7th or 9th. Maybe it's the 9th. It's 7th or 9th. I'll have to go back and look. I tried to look on my phone and I couldn't find it. But Ryan, that's going to be a really big mess, just so you know. So more people are going to use metal brick than you ever imagine.
Oh, I'm sure but it's well needed. I mean, you look, I was traveling back, I don't know, a couple days ago from North Bend through I-90, and that 18 interchange was backed up way past the curb, and I've never seen it backed up that far.
Yep, it's crazy. But we are starting it, so that I've been waiting patiently because it was supposed to start in April and it hasn't. So this is just, I get, they already figured out who the contractor is. It's a construction company out of Canada. So I just know that that's gonna make a difference, and then maybe we can work on more signage on that while they're doing that.
And Rob, I see your hands up.
Just for the record, it's September 8th at 10
See, I
a.m.
was,
Oh,
I was totally off. I knew
You're
it
right in
was-
between.
I was right.
And what exactly is Inslee doing?
So he's going to be the one to do the like, you know, they have the shovels that come out and he'll say a few words and they'll turn the ground.
So all of a sudden it's important.
Will he
Um,
come into the city at all? Will he come into?
I don't think he'll come into the city. I think it'll just be him doing, but
Where's the particular location?
that's a good question. Did you see it on there? Cause
I'm sure it's at the interchange, somewhere safe on the interchange.
yeah,
I was gonna-
don't stand at the end of the westbound off ramp waiting for a truck to come.
Jason, that was my thought exactly. Are they stopping traffic or?
Just be right under the bridge. Perfectly safe, not on either way.
the hospital. I know. I worry about that. I want you to know that. That's been my biggest concern is that hospital trying to turn left there. Yeah, it needs one of those roundabouts.
Yeah,
Talk to the fire department.
Mhm.
They don't like it.
No more roundabouts. So I can't see the agenda, but I'm assuming, Jason, you would be next to give us some updates.
Yeah, so thanks, Bobby. So just a couple updates, and the mayor had one of mine, which is great. First thing I wanted to highlight is they're calling it Timber Trails on parcel S14 up in Snoqualmie Ridge 2. So this is the vacant property that's close to Timber Ridge Elementary. They're at the bottom of the big hill. That property, as many of you know, has been owned by the LDS Church, the Latter-day Saints, for a number of years, and they even got pretty far into the development process a decade ago for building a church there. Never happened, obviously, and now there is a proposal for 46 new homes there. It'll be townhomes and duplexes largely. So that project was just determined complete a couple weeks ago. Notices have just gone out, so it's still pretty early in the process, but there will be a public hearing on the subdivision at some point, and then they'll keep moving through the process and get on to construction. So bit of a change. If you were expecting a church, that's not going to happen. It's going to be some more homes.
So Jason, quick question. I mean, personally and EDC wise, does the city have any authority on price point and kind of spec level? Like, is it going to be more affordable, or is it going to be higher end like Ridgestone, or you just don't know yet because it's too soon?
To an extent, we don't know. What I will say is the affordable housing requirement for Snoqualmie Ridge 2 was fulfilled with Panorama Apartments a couple years ago. So they're not going to be affordable. The developer has talked about market rate, and so the product, townhomes, duplexes will naturally be somewhat more affordable than detached single family. But with the way the housing market is, they're going to be expensive. Hopefully they won't be $2.5 million expensive like the other subdivision is. But the city doesn't have a lot of direct control over that. Certainly the houses will look a certain way because of the design standards for Snoqualmie Ridge. But as far as the interior finish levels, we have no control over that.
And when you mentioned the 2.5, are you talking about Murray Franklin plat? Okay.
Is there any other places for to build besides that? I mean, is there anything else?
So this will be the final subdivision under the Snoqualmie Ridge 2 plan. There are no more parcels that are developable for residential. What's left, so to speak, would be the vacant property next to the hospital, which we've talked about before, as parcel S21B, but that's intended for commercial. And quite possibly there would be a senior housing component to that, but it all depends on who comes in and what their proposal is. Beyond that, we're looking at the annexation areas, of course. Some of you who were here will recall 5 years ago, the Snoqualmie Hills West proposal had a significant amount of housing with it, that really giant one. So a proposal like that remains possible, understanding all the issues with that annexation area that would come with with water supply, for example, and traffic. The other big property that could host residential is the school district parcel back by Carmichael Park.
Mhm.
That one, though, it's certainly tied up in what the school district would want to do long-term for their facilities. They're currently moving through facilities planning and, school remodels and things like that. I don't have any update I can share about what the district is thinking about for that, but that parcel could potentially host a number of homes, but it's reliant on the school district figuring it out. That parcel isn't, I should say, developing that parcel as anything other than a school wasn't part of the Snoqualmie Ridge planning, and so it would be its own separate process that would take some time to sort out.
Okay.
Anyway, then the mayor talked about the mill site review, so I won't touch on that. The other one I wanted to share with the EDC here is, you may have noticed the agenda looks a little bit different. What we have done, our city clerk has been working very hard on for a number of months now, is it's a program called MuniCode, and it's our new agenda center. And so the way you can get at it is on the city's homepage here. If you go under your government and then click on agendas and minutes, that will now take you here. And this is MuniCode, and it lists all the meetings. So, you see the city council roundtable, here's the arts commission. And there are now a couple different ways to see the agendas. And for EDC, so I'll show you, you can filter things. So under meeting group, you can say, I only want to see EDC. So you hit that, hit apply. There's only the one meeting, which is today's meeting that's in here. We'll certainly of course, add the meetings as they come. So there's two ways to look at this. There's both the complete PDF agenda packet here, and there's also an HTML version. So if you don't want to download this giant PDF, you can click on the HTML one, which I'll do. And now you can see, it looks a little different, but here's the individual attachments. So, you only load this very easy to load HTML web page. You can click on the attachments as needed. There's of course also the full PDF agenda packet, which I can pull up, which looks pretty similar to what you're used to, with the Zoom info and all this. This is also nice if you want to, like I said, see what Finance and Administration Committee is up to. Here's all their meetings. So this is a change, from what we were doing before, which was admittedly a very manual process. We'll be using MuniCode going forward. So when you see the agendas and agenda packet links sent out, you should expect to see links into MuniCode here. If you have any questions or issues with it, let us know. We can help walk you through it a little more. It's a big change for us on the back end as to how we build agendas and put things in, which should hopefully be very transparent to all of you.
That's great. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
So Jason, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
I had 2 phone calls from tourists this past week, and they were appalled about how Salish, the getting around Salish was, and how dangerous it was for them to pull out. Is it the city that's doing that, or is it who is doing that? That's the Salish.
So right now, the traffic control over there is a combination of the lodge itself and PSE.
Okay.
Because, PSE owns the Falls Park, of course, and the parking lots. And so, they have long gotten, whether it's, flaggers or off-duty police officers to help move people in and out of there. But that has been a bit, especially through COVID, that whole situation became, we used to have a pretty decent handle on it, I think, pre-COVID. It was, I won't say it was smooth, but things were reasonably safe. I think through COVID, because of all the changes that happened with tourism and hotel stays and people trying to get outdoors, we saw both a huge drop off initially and they moved away from that more aggressive traffic control to now it's really, at least at the falls, things have picked back up, but the traffic control hasn't necessarily followed that yet.
No, and you can only turn right. You
Yeah.
can't come back into Snoqualmie.
Yeah.
And so that has been a huge issue for a lot of people. They said they wanted to go eat in Snoqualmie, but they couldn't even turn to get in.
Yeah.
And that was different in the past?
Yeah.
Do you have, are they part of the chamber?
No, they were just tourists.
Oh,
that
but
called.
is Salish part of the chamber?
Oh, yeah. But it's
you-
not Salish, it's PSC that's doing
PSC.
it.
Is it, do we have any contacts, Jason, at PSC to?
Yeah, we
reach
do.
out to?
We certainly do. The issue, bigger picture, here, let me go back to this. I think the other thing that happened in there is because of the Salish expansion project, PSE kind of put changes on back burner because the assumption at the time was that the upper parking lot was going to go away and the lower parking lot was going to be expanded out here toward Tokel Road. And we were going to get an exit from the parking lot on out here to Tokel Road, which would then let people hang a right, get into the roundabout and go wherever they needed to go.
Mhm.
Because the Salish expansion project is not going to happen, suddenly that's put back to the front burner. What do you do about this intersection? And I don't think PSE, frankly, I don't think PSE had any plans to do anything with that intersection because they thought Salish would solve the problem for them. Now they have to figure it out. And the immediate thing they've done to try to improve safety is make it that right turn only.
Can you show us on the map just exactly where?
This is the sole entrance right here into and out of the parking lot for the falls.
Yeah.
This is the pedestrian overpass. And so during peak times, what they do when you come out to leave this parking lot, they force you to take a right turn. You can't make a left. Historically, what they did is they had like I said, where there's a security guard, a flagger, a off-duty police officer standing here. And they had a cone set up everywhere to make this left turn to come back towards Snoqualmie at least possible and reasonably safe. They've stopped doing that.
So that's a loss of revenue.
I think that's what's causing some of the issues downtown. Is-
Could signage be put there too, if we could get that open up? Like
Well, but
you-
they can't, they have to turn right. And so once you go down to Fall City, it's so far down. And it's, some people have illegally made U-turns to come back and they've almost gotten hit. There's gonna be an accident there.
You're
big time.
committed to the going downhill.
Yeah,
once
you're
you get
committed.
Yeah,
going.
the first place you can turn is that gun range, which
Right.
is not a good place to turn in and then
No.
turn back out again.
Right.
So now that's something we should talk to Perry about that and see what thoughts he has.
Who's Perry?
The
Police
Police
chief.
chief.
Because I know that our police department is not really directly involved in what they're doing there,
Right.
but I think Perry's probably the police chief is probably the
Yeah.
best
just-
part to initiate that.
I didn't think it was going to be a big problem, but when I witnessed it and saw all the cars, I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of cars that are turning right instead of going the other direction to go towards downtown.
Is that a public street?
It's a state highway.
It's part of the state highway.
It's 202.
What are the peak hours in which they kind of force the right-hand turn? Is it?
It's
primarily
Saturday and
weekends?
Sunday. It's the
Okay.
weekends. Yeah.
Ryan, you got your hand up?
Yeah, so we host tourist groups who kind of come through and they go to the falls, and they've even made comments that they have to plan to like do lunch with us or wine tasting before because they're forced out the other way.
Kelly, I think that's huge when we've actually had a decrease in downtown merchants tourism, that could be why right there.
Mm-hmm.
So who's gonna, I mean, I'm happy to bring it up with Perry also, but who or how can we bring this up to him? Who should do this?
I think Mike Chandler should also be informed. I mean, he has direct contact with WashDOT.
Mm-hmm.
And knows that WashDOT code better than anyone else,
Okay.
and has contacts there. So I would say Mike Chandler. And then if we could get another flow of traffic in the other direction, we should have some signage there to say, hey, historic downtown.
Yeah.
Look at all the wonderful businesses that are there. People just salivating.
Right. And that was why we were doing this too, but it doesn't help if they can't turn.
Yeah, visual signs make
Yes.
a difference, like the ones you see when you go, down to the casino, you see
Mhm.
historic downtown and you turn there.
I might be wrong, but I thought I remembered in the past, maybe years ago, like a King County sheriff that was kind of, putting a hand up, stopping traffic and letting people turn towards Snoqualmie.
It was different police departments that were up there in the past. It was not just sheriff, but it was all different.
It was a guild and they would sign up for the overtime. And
Yeah.
you're right, it worked better then. Once they put this traffic crew and then that, sorry, rinky dink kind of flag
Yes.
thing, majigger. It's,
And that's backing up traffic like crazy too, that
I
traffic.
feel like
yeah.
it does.
And PFC controls the flag crew.
Yeah. Rob, you have your hand up?
I've noticed that the parking lot at the bottom of the parkway on the right-hand side has not been used by
Mhm.
visitors as much this year as in past years. And it may be because there's been a lot of equipment there for various things and probably some signage encouraging people to park there would help alleviate, because we've gone over to the parking lot on by the Salish and the one up on the hill, and it's been packed. We've had to park on the hill going up to the top. So there are definitely people coming there, but as you're saying, if they're forced to make a right-hand turn out of that, the best way is if we can divert some of that to that parking lot, and then it's very easy for them to get to downtown Snoqualmie. So it could be a real easy fix.
Well, that's a good call out. Is that overflow sign still there? There used to be a sign there and I don't think that it's been there for a while.
The sign is still there.
It's very small.
Yeah.
You have to look for it.
Yeah, I think the two problems is one, like you said, the sign is in fact very small. It is uncovered right now.
Google Maps.
And then Ryan. You have your hand up?
I was wondering if anyone has heard any updates on the trolley car revitalization.
So, Richard is working on that. But I don't know if they're gonna keep it, there, in Issaquah.
We can bring that up. We're gonna have a meeting with Richard tomorrow.
Okay,
We can ask about that.
yeah. and
Because
it's
what I
the
remember
inter-
from when they picked it up, it was going to be a trolley car that was going to kind of run from downtown to the falls, was a comment that was made 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay, so you're talking about two different things. So I'm talking about two. So there's a trolley car in Issaquah that Issaquah was going to be giving to us possibly. And then the other one is the interurban car. And that one is a electric running car. And I think they got majority of the funding for that, but it's not completed yet.
Would that run from the Salish Lodge to
Mhm.
downtown?
Yes.
Yeah, that was what Richard mentioned like 3 or 4 years ago.
That's a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could just pick people up and move
Yep.
them from the hotel
Yep.
to the downtown on a recurring basis.
Yep. They
Well,
have
even
it.
from, some of the parking lots that are unutilized throughout downtown.
Yeah, so Richard, we need to bring him and have the meeting and see how far he is along with that. Cause I know it was like $700,000 to get
Different
that. in.
than the car from Issaquah.
Yep, that's different.
So you'd want to use Richard's.
The interturb, yes, because it's electric. And I think it would be very beneficial for us to use.
The Issaquah car then
Good question, but it could be
doubled up.
it could be doubled up. Yeah.
Doubled up,
Mhm.
and move people one way or another.
Mhm.
Is that the
That's-
diesel burning one? from
Yeah.
Issaquah?
Yeah. Cause they,
Issaquah uses that one or had used.
no,
it a lot.
they just quit.
They were picking people up at Highlands and then shuttling them down to downtown. It's the same problem. No one leaves the Issaquah Highlands to go downtown.
Yeah. That's true.
So Emily, when you're meeting with Richard, could we maybe see if he could come talk at the next meeting and give us an update? Because that is hugely successful in like Astoria, Oregon, on their little trolley, getting people through the town for 50 cents or whatever it costs nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have another meeting in about 10 minutes and I just wondered if we could maybe move down on the agenda a little bit just to cover a few more things. That be okay if we could touch on the comprehensive plan update? Jason, do you want to, since you did the staff report, do you want to do a brief introduction on this?
Sure. So this memo was included in the agenda packet. I know not all of you saw it, but so this is a continuation of what we started talking about at the retreat. We started talking about we have the economic development element in the comprehensive plan today. And we looked at some of the items that are in there, and kind of looking for, well, what have we accomplished as with relates to downtown? In the bigger picture, as you know, we're embarking on a major comprehensive plan update, which is due at the end of 2024. And one of the duties of the EDC as laid out in the city's code is to develop this economic development element and recommend it to the planning commission and then onto the city council. So that will be one of the things we're going to look at here over the coming months, where where usually this starts is we can look at what's there today, and starting up at the higher level, the goals that are in the current plan, and then we start drilling down into the individual policies of things we want to see happen, things we and they can be aspirational. That's perfectly appropriate here, but it really helps us drill down to where do we want to put our focus. The current element talks about here are some target industries we want to be looking at, and some of that might very well still continue to be appropriate as we move forward. And you heard Kelly's updates talking about we have these businesses, they need more space, just physical space, and so that I think will be a component there that this current version, this is the current version you see on the screen, doesn't really have as much, because when this was written in 2014, we still had Snoqualmie Ridge getting built. We still had build of the business parks yet to occur. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 or 6 development pads still in the business park when this was written. All of those are built now, for better, and that's a good thing. We want to build things out, but now it's the question of what's next.
And along that note, I mean, I don't know if you've had the chance to look at the comprehensive plan, but this is 15 pages of one element. And it has 2 of them are an appendix. And I'm admittedly new to looking at this, but this is a mandate in our municipal code that says this commission is charged with putting together the comprehensive plan element for economic development. And it doesn't happen very often. The last one was 2015. And now we're looking at a deadline of December 2024. One thing that I'd encourage you to do is to take a look at what it currently says and think about developing, and I don't really see them in here, specific goals and policies that would lead this effort forward. This is a huge lift. The way that it's written right now, and the way that Jason kind of couched it, is that we were at various development stages for various projects, and but one thing that's missing in here is specific goals and policies that you would normally see in an element like this. And I know that sounds kind of like, okay, what does all that mean? I think that it would help before we start working on a big effort like this is to do some training. And right now there's a really nice series of trainings that is occurring at the regional level, Puget Sound regional government. And I wanted to alert you to one of them, if I could just screen share. Let's see here. You could go to this website and make sure I've got the right screen sharing going on. It's called Passport 2024 series. It continues. Okay, so I have to choose this one. Is that right? Yeah. There. So here on my screen, I'm actually registered to go to this economic development September 7th. It's from 10 to noon. And the primary audience is for planners and consultants and staff, but it also says, hey, elected officials, planning commissioners, others with a role in upcoming comp plan, this is for you to attend as well. Lots of cities don't have an economic development element in their comp plan. It's not required. It's kind of rare to see it. So it's an exciting opportunity to be part of a community that actually has put together this element. And it's also an exciting opportunity to rewrite it the way that you want it, with specific goals and policies that'll provide direction, up until 2044. So, we'll touch on it here and there, in the meantime, but I think doing this training and then coming back, Jason and I will help put together a schedule of, how long will it take us to do this work and when do we want to start? And how many meetings will it be? So, and will we do it, single-handedly here, Jason and I, or will we bring in a facilitator to help do it? So, in a nutshell, that's kind of what I wanted to alert you to. You kind of have to get your mind around it and think about it for a while before we dive into it, but that training will help acclimate you.
Can you, if you don't mind, can you send out the link to the website, please? I don't have my computer with me.
Yes, absolutely. We'll
To
put it in, an email, Jason, to the group.
Okay.
Giving you the opportunity to register and, it still says open, so, the sooner the better. I'm not sure if there's a cap
And it's a
on it.
webinar?
Yeah, it's a webinar on September 7th from 10 to 12. And I would just encourage you, if you do it, take full advantage of the experts there. Ask away, take a look at what's in our comp plan right now. Try to understand and maybe look at other people's comp plans on economic development, but goals and policies are going to be an essential part of this rewrite. So we don't get to tap into folks at the regional level very often.
Thank you.
Thank you for that share, Emily, because that'll help us better understand even the terminology that you and Jason speak of.
There's one other training, if you're interested in that is provided at the state level that we could, I could talk to the chair about if we want to work those in as well. But I don't know how much training you've all had. You're all professional in these industries, but having some training at the state level might be something that you'd be interested in. And if so, I'll work with the chair on seeing when and how we could do that.
Thank you. Rob, you have your hand up.
And I just want to emphasize too, how important this work is and how much the council relies on the work of this commission to give us guidance and input, because when you stop to think about it, the 7 of us on the council, we're concerned about water quality, response times from our fire department, enough coverage for police, and it's easy to lose sight of the important things that help drive the economic vitality of our community. So by having the 7 commissioners do more of a deep dive in this and to give you your perspective from your business experience is going to be incredibly helpful. So I just encourage you in hearing from Kelly and the needs for expansion. Those are important things for us to deal
Those would be
with.
policies that you'd put in there, some broad-based goal of like expanding, as needed, addressing the needs of our businesses. You can come up with ways, and then from there, if we need to develop, code amendments to help support those goals and policies, that would be the next step. So that, there's a sequence of events that help us allow community businesses to do the things they need to do, and we have a code that supports it, and we have policies that guide us.
So yeah,
Just kind of looking at some of these other trainings here, the transportation on October 18th, the housing, which is,
Yeah,
I've talked with Rob about that. Are we eligible
go
to participate in those as well?
This is right there for you.
Okay,
Just grab it.
okay.
If it interests you, the better off. Like, go for something that floats your boat.
the only
Thank
thing,
you.
the only other thing I'd highlight is the way the current conference plan is structured is we have we have what's called a vision and policy element, which is number 1. And so the goals and policies are in the element number 1, the vision and policy plan element, and not in the economic development element or the other ones.
That's a ripe
So
opportunity for just kind of deciding, what do we want to do with that? Can we bridge those together? Can we streamline them?
Right.
Can we update them?
yeah, so there's no, to Emily's point, there's no right way of doing this. There are, other cities have comprehensive plans where the goals and policies for the individual elements are integrated into those individual elements, whereas this city's current plan has it structured this way to put them all together in one element. It's something we can obviously consider going forward, but I would just encourage you to also, there's a goal here for economic development here at the top. And maybe it's written well, maybe in broad terms, it's still appropriate, and we need to tweak some of these objectives and policies underneath it, because of course they were written 8 years ago now and counting. So there, and here's another objective about land use and infrastructure related to economic development and employment,
Maybe one of the first things we could do
So-
is just trying to find out where are they all at? Can we group them together? Can we bring them back to, we'll need to strategize a little bit, on how we can guide you the best. And if we're gonna bring in a facilitator, we have lots of elements to update in the comp plan, and we'll be hiring some consultant services, for some of the other elements.
Well, thank you for that. I know that there's a lot of interest here and, growing and learning more about it. So thank you for, willing to essentially invest in us and in knowledge.
Absolutely. I do have another meeting to attend, so I'll have to excuse myself.
So Jason, with that, I think our last, I don't see the agenda in front of me, but I think, and Rob will get to you too. Do we want to present kind of the mission statement that we put together? And I think that would be our last task before we go to the chamber meeting.
Yeah.
But Rob, you had your hand up.
I just had a couple comments in closing when you're ready.
Okay, so if we want to kind of in conjunction with what Emily wants us to work on, Kelly and Sherry and I got together as a little subcommittee and came up with this potential, again, it's draft, mission statement. So if everyone wants to look at it today and then going forward in the next month, and we can, I don't know what protocol is, but to approve it.
We're gonna have another meeting.
We need
And
to.
we can just, yeah, we can even have another sub-meeting. So this is what.
Bobby, can we, is anybody available that they could work on Thursday? Tomorrow's Thursday, isn't it?
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Oh my gosh, to help trying to come up with this letter to, and we can also do this at the same time. That just talks about what is needed for, the ARPA funds, so we can.
Monday's meeting.
Yeah.
So my main caution here is absolutely work on the ARPA fund letter, because that's not an EDC function per se. The EDC mission statement, I would just put the Open Public Meetings Act caution to that one.
Okay.
Let's not have a quorum, but yes, if a couple of you want to get together and talk about it more, that's not a problem.
So maybe we can do another subcommittee meeting
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, I could meet tomorrow. So if there's one other person, right? Because, we can do 3, right? Plus Kelly.
Correct.
So
I can meet in the afternoon.
Joel, what about 1 o'clock?
Yes.
Can you do 1? Okay, what time you can?
Could you do like
So
30?
Bobby, while they're sorting things out, I
What do you
love
have?
the mission statement. I think it's awesome. And I encourage you to move forward
Okay, you could do it 3.
with it.
Thank you, Rob. And when we were talking, then we, obviously have sub bullet points that would become more tangible items that we can work through, but that's what we came up with. So I'm glad you like it.
Would that work?
He can do, Lewis can do 3. I have to be in the ADO meeting. So I can't be at 3 o'clock. But we could do like 1, and then you guys could have a second one if that would work.
And I don't, are you open to that, Bobby, or?
I too have afternoon, so I can do 1 for sure. And then see where it works towards time wise.
Okay, let's do 1 o'clock for sure. And then,
Okay.
You need an extra body at 1?
always Ryan.
Always, Ryan, we'd love your input.
I could do 1.
Okay, let's do, for the sake of everybody's time, let's get a little side email to figure out where we're gonna meet and confirm at 1 o'clock. And if anybody else wants to chime in, that would be great. And then Jason, is there anything else on the agenda?
I'll just add the additional reminder that however many of you meet are talking about the ask to council from in advance of Monday night and not talk about the mission statement.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
So this wouldn't be a subcommittee meeting.
I'm trying to be mindful of the OPMA requirements here and not getting too many cooks in the room all at once.
All right.
3 or less, right, Jason?
Correct. Specific to the mission statement,
Plus Kelly.
you can certainly look at it on the screen. It's in the packet, and so you can go dig it out of the Municode packet. And Nicole sent you all the link yesterday via email, right, Nicole?
I may be able to move some.
So yeah,
But yeah, I think for tomorrow, the primary is the ask for council.
Correct.
Plus you, right?
yeah. So
It's okay.
for the mission statement, it looks,
Yeah.
I think it looks great. And thank you for all your hard work on that. If you have additional comments, I think you can send them my way and I can send them on toward Bobby and Sherry to, if we want to tweak it a little bit. But certainly think about it. You don't have to take action on it today. You can basically say, yeah, this looks good at your next meeting in September. And we can move on from there.
Correct.
Okay, that sounds great. Thanks, Jason.
To approve.
501, where is it?
Because they're gonna need to talk about it.
That was, let me get,
Yeah,
sorry, Bobby, let me get your agenda back up, but that was the last thing on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay, excellent.
Move some things around.
So I will send out an email. It sounds like it's
Are we thinking the
Hey,
clock?
guys.
Lewis, Ryan, Kelly, and I potentially. So I'll just send an email. And if anybody else, again, we can only have 3 from the EDC, but if anybody else has time. Oh, Joelle.
Yeah, I would love to be there. I already said I could be there.
That's right. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. So does anyone have anything else? I would then consider a motion to adjourn.
Rob has his hand up.
Bob, do you have something?
I do.
Oh.
The Housing Summit is just a reminder and an update. It's September 22nd at the North Bend Theater. The invitation is open to anyone who is interested in coming. Let me share with you my latest updates. We're going to have the city manager of Covington there talking about the Lake Point Urban Village development they have. We've got 3 Snoqualmie residents, Tim Locke with Cirque Living, Dustin Coons with Banner Bank, and just outside the city, Susan Gillespie. She's working on a Spokane housing initiative, and she's going to share information about that. Homestead Community, Kathleen Hosfeld. Homestead is a land trust organization. We haven't had them here before. So I'm really excited to have them. So it's going to be an action-packed 1 to 4 p.m. event. And you're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna have a chance to connect with others. And that's indeed has been the thing that's made this so popular in the past. We also have the cities of Covington and the cities of Sammamish joining in. So I suspect there may be some other cities attending as well.
And do we need to register for that?
No, we have enough space. In the
Okay.
past, we've maxed it out in my community room, but with the theater, we should be able to handle 150 people.
You're all ready for us. Okay.
Yeah,
We'll do it.
don't hesitate, show up.
And
That's a lot you're
Sounds
gonna
good.
pack into 3 hours.
Absolutely. We've got it. Normally, we have about 12 different speakers presenting, so it will be packed.
We need popcorn then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you very
one
much.
more thing. Yes, it's Business Pulse Survey. My son Justin is working on it free of charge to both cities. It's for the benefit of the city of Snoqualmie, the city of North Bend. We will have like a survey ready in the next couple weeks that we're happy to share. If you're interested in seeing a copy of it and giving some input before it actually goes live, we need at least 40 businesses. It's the first time the two cities have done this, but we just want to get a sense of where things are at, pre-COVID, post-COVID, whether businesses are looking to expand, and what are the things that the city can do to help support a vibrant business community. So it's forthcoming, and that's through Pacific Lutheran University is helping out with that as well.
Great, thank you. Does anyone else have anything they want to bring up?
Actually,
So
Go ahead. No, you
ladies
go ahead.
first. No, ladies first.
I was just gonna say, as it relates to development and business development, being one of the larger employers here in the Valley, we completed the community health needs assessment. We do that every 3 years. I'll share that with everyone because we just let our board of commissioners get an eye on that. So we'll be passing that along and passing that out because there are definitely community partners that were part of that and also forwarded it to the community in general. And so still working on the strategic plan, and part of that coming out of that is our growth. So we're adding 2 behavioral health specialists this month or by September. We'll also have podiatry and wound care. And also dermatology. And so yeah, I know. And so, and it's based a lot on the feedback and the growth that we're looking for. And of course, that medical office building, the space for that, it can't come soon enough. So hopefully, as we work through that, getting support from the community to continue to grow, to meet the needs of all of our residents. So yeah, exciting times and yeah, just moving right along, but want to make sure that you knew that we'll share the community health needs assessment with everyone. Thank you.
Excellent. So just before the meeting, I had a chance to talk with Rob and Mayor Ross, and we kind of just tossed around the idea of maybe putting together either an EDC, a subcommittee for affordable housing. We all know affordable housing is a very hot and relevant topic for us here in the community. So more of, just kind of thoughts here leading into our next meeting, but should it be a subcommittee here in the EDC? I mean, it's obviously a component, or is it something that I know, and Rob and I talked about, maybe more of a task force that, the mayor would appoint for?
I think in this case, and that's an excellent idea, Lewis, and thanks for bringing that up, is that if the mayor forms a task force, she can go ahead and do that under mayoral authority. And but if you're interested, talk to Lewis about it and we'll work out the details. But I think that's an excellent idea to carry forward the work from the 22nd, because there will be much to talk about.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's a great call out of how we're wanting to move forward as an EDC and be productive. And I don't know, again, protocol, but maybe more subcommittees like that can just be, people take on whatever's in their bandwidth to be on a committee like that and report back, and then we can present things to the council from there. I think that's great.
Excellent. Sounds good.
Okay, so it sounds like we actually have a couple of things we can dig our teeth into in the next month and work on, which is awesome. So anyone online have anything else that they want to bring up to the committee, or shall we motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn and come to our monthly chamber call at 10.
Yep.
I will second.
We're adjourned at 9:46 on August 17th, and we'll see most of you guys on the next call.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. And I'll send out an email for tomorrow.
Thank
Thank you.